What is up, YouTube? My name is Thomas. We're not going to be talking about cryotherapy today. As you can see, I'm not actually at IceHouse today. I'm actually in the studio, still rocking the IceHouse shirt, and wanted to talk to you guys about something a little more real today. Wanted to kind of get into, basically, if I were to break it down into parts like I usually do, I'd say that we're going to talk one part like how IceHouse actually got started, what the basically how it came to be, how I got involved, what my background is, and how I relate to everything and why it's worth watching. How I know what I know and so forth. And then finally, I want to talk about the future of IceHouse cryotherapy and how we're going to expand on what we're doing already and basically bring you more value than we already are. And I'm going to be as human as possible in all of this so you guys can get to know me a little more. And if you're interested in kind of keeping up with more of like what we're doing live-wise, you can follow our live streams. We're going to be doing live streams pretty frequently here soon. So anyway, jumping right into it, IceHouse cryotherapy actually started 2 years ago in 2016, basically because Gail, the owners, Mark and Gail, Gail actually plays professional tennis, and she actually tried it in another state when she was going to a tournament, and of course she loved it. And when she got back from that tournament, she was here in Washington, and she started making an hour commute every single day from Mill Creek to Seattle to use the Cryochamber. Basically, she was just training like crazy. Her trainer at the time literally didn't believe that if you weren't puking, if you weren't dying at the end of your workout, that you were not getting a good workout. So you can imagine that when your coach is pushing you that hard, and when you're doing this 5-6 times a week or more, that your body's going to just be destroyed. So she basically was doing this for a little while, had kids in between this and everything else. She's got 2 kids. So they eventually decided they just wanted to open one themselves and make it as an addition to the tennis facility they operate right now. Because Mark actually has, he runs the youth program at Eastside Tennis Center. That's actually where we're located as well, as Eastside Tennis Center. So it was actually originally kind of more of an expansion off that, and then eventually kind of just ended up being its own entity, its own thing, or maybe it's kind of at the same time. I'm not actually sure on that completely. Anyway, we have a gym too. You guys have probably seen, you might know that if you get a cryotherapy session, you get a free gym session at the same time. So that's kind of how it started. Let's move it now more into how I got here, and then we'll actually get into the future of things, which is what I think it's what I'm really excited about. It's what I think you guys are gonna like too. Anyway, my name is Thomas, as you guys know. Basically, I've always had the goal of having my own health and wellness studio. I actually wanted to kind of build off my own philosophy, which is the philosophy of perfect grind. Basically, what I mean when I say that is that I really think that that there are a number of things that you should do on a day-to-day basis, or could do on a day-to-day basis, that would give you the most out of life in terms of health, education, feelings of just that you got the most out of it. I don't really know what the word for it would be off the top of my head, but basically I wanted to make the most out of everything. And it just kind of happened to be that IceHouse Cryotherapy is kind of along a similar path, or kind of is the start of something like that. So basically I got involved because I have just a love for health and wellness, and I have a love for business. I know it doesn't really necessarily correlate. I mean, it does and doesn't. But you know what I'm saying, hopefully. More than business, I have a love for social media. I have a love for, all aspects, digital and creative that, are intertwined as they do. Because in this day and age, I believe that, building a relationship, communicating with people, and really putting people first is the only way to do it. Because, even someone watching this video, someone watching or looking at anything that we create here at IceHouse Cryotherapy, to me is a compliment. I don't expect people to want to see what we're doing or to like what we're doing. I'm appreciative if they do, because there's just an insane amount of competition out there in this day and age that to make something happen is really hard. And it's troubling for a lot of people, because when they first start, they're not gonna be good at it, period. And the line between what is good and what isn't is sometimes so hard to identify as well, because something that could be like perceived as bad can sometimes just crush in a way that doesn't even make sense sometimes, because there's so many other aspects that go into this besides having a fancy camera and good lighting and so on and so forth. So much of it is, is it coming from your heart? And, do you have a relationship with these people? Do they feel loved? Do they feel appreciated? Are they getting, everything they require out of this service and more? And so for me, I just I appreciate these things. I love these things, and I want to do the best I can because this is where I want to be. If I wasn't doing what I'm doing, I'd be what I'm doing. I'd be doing what I'm doing anyways. To be completely honest with you guys, and like I said, if you watch my other videos, you've kind of seen that I put out like 20 videos now. I don't claim to be an expert in health and wellness and cold therapy or anything like that. Basically, with me, my whole thing is that I just want to balance out all the negative stuff, because so many people are putting out negative stuff that someone's got to put out positive stuff. The amount of positive content going out there for cryotherapy right now is actually kind of like it's pretty rough. And there are a lot of people who I've seen have some insane benefits, and there are a lot of people who really strongly believe in cryotherapy. Joe Rogan, for example, and that's a skeptical guy, so that should tell you something. But basically, if something is doing people a lot of good, and the only thing that's coming out from this thing is negative stuff, I feel like it's a disjustice to something that could be helping people. And of course, there are things about it that are being promoted, and when I say about it, I mean cryotherapy, things that are being promoted about cryotherapy that aren't exactly truthful and aren't exactly good. But if we're sticking to the core fundamentals and elements, the things that are consistent, proven, and happen every single time, like the release of norepinephrine, like the burning of 500, 800 calories, like the reduction in inflammation and pain, then we're on the right track. We're staying focused, we're staying true, and we're giving people good information. And so basically, all these things matter to me. This is part of why I'm involved. Basically, I take my studying extremely serious. I get all my content to you by scraping everything I can find, everywhere I can find it, putting it together, breaking it down, to where it's simple, easily digestible. I take out all the excess stuff that doesn't make any sense, stuff that's, fluffed and whatever, and I give you the info in what I believe is the most easily digestible and organized manner. Myself and my team, that is. I actually have somebody else that works with me. Because we want to give you guys the information in such a way that it's fast and easy for you to digest, like I said. So, yeah. So that's kind of the basis of what we're doing as far as all that stuff goes. Basically, I've been making videos and doing this kind of thing for 10 years now, to give you kind of an idea of the how we got to where we are in terms of the production quality we have and so forth. Moving on to the actual future of cryotherapy now, what we kind of want you to do. When I say the future of cryotherapy, I actually meant to say the future of IceHouse. We want to kind of follow along with what I was saying earlier, and we want to expand on the services we offer at IceHouse right now. You've seen that we have a gym, and you've seen that we have a Cryochamber, and I think those two things are awesome. I actually think that cryotherapy is one of the best things as far as like alternative medicines go, as far as results go, as far as time and convenience goes. Cryotherapy is awesome, and you guys would probably be more excited about it, like as I am. I don't know, you might be pumped about cryotherapy, but if you actually saw some of the examples I saw and spoke to some of the people I've spoken to, and I'm gonna try and get these people on video, yeah, I was not necessarily a believer. I was always either, like, I used it myself, and I was a believer for that fact, for that reason. By the way, I'm going to be getting a cryotherapy session of myself and the other guy that works here, DJ George, up on the YouTube channel, so you'll actually be able to see us using cryotherapy ourselves. But anyway, back to what I was saying before. We want to expand on what we're doing. We want to add more, and we want to add more in terms of foods and nutritions we're offering, that's kind of a last thing. We want to add more equipment, more alternatives besides just cryotherapy, but also infrared and so on and so forth. So that's something we want to add. And then also, in addition to that, or I should say first off, because before we add either of these two things I just spoke about, we're going to be adding more coaches. I really want to add, yoga, strength and conditioning, maybe even like, it'd be crazy but to get like a sports psychologist in there, just something like that. But basically to really feel out what you guys want, and then to be able to set up a fantastic lineup of coaches that can cover a broad area of health and wellness needs, so that we, like I said, we can follow that path of perfect grind and give you one place you can go to get all of your health and wellness done in one place. After you got all of your gym sessions in with the different coaches you might be working with, you could use any number of the alternative medicines we have, whether it's, like I said, cryotherapy or infrared. or whatever it might be, and then after that, you know, be able to get any number of nutritional snacks and so forth. We want to add, you know, coffees, and I know coffee isn't exactly the healthiest option, but black coffee is good for you, so hey. But we want to add just a bunch of different things. You can get supplements, vitamins, so forth, so that you can go in there, you can get your training session in, afterwards you can recover using the cryotherapy, whatever it is, and you can like get your snack. Probably would get your snack actually right after your gym session, that way your body could start using those things, especially if it's like a protein shake or something like that. But basically, convenience is the name of the game. That's what we want to do. And then to expand even further off that, we want to start actually physically going and taking the camera with us to all alternative health locations in Washington. So what I mean by that, I mean that like there's so many places. There's float therapy, there's like chiropractors. There's just so many places. To name them all would be ridiculous. I didn't even give names, I just gave generalities. But we'd like to go to these different places, record videos, and get the information straight from the experts so we can give it to you, so that you can decide for yourself before going in somewhere, before using your time, if it would be something that, you know, is interesting and valuable and think that could help your specific problem, because everyone has their own, you know, needs, and it varies. You can't really just, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that way we can, you know, not only help make everything convenient on the side of, you know, your health, but also make the information convenient, give you guys ideas for where to go, what you might want to do in Washington, and then finally give you guys advice and give you, you know, extra ideas for how to take care of yourself in between your sessions and everything like that, you know, at IceHouse, whatever you might be doing, so that you can just make the most of your life, the most of your health, the most of your, you know, the span of which you're on this earth, and hopefully lengthen it as well. That would be the idea, that would be the goal. So I hope that all sounds awesome, you guys. Please drop a comment if there's anything you'd like to see specifically. If there's a place you want us to visit, if there's something you want us to cover, if there's something you want us to talk about, if there's something you want us to do, if there's just a silly video you want to see, whatever it is, we're very open to suggestions. Please leave a comment below, and we'll get back to you guys like ASAP, immediately. So anyway, till next time, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Peace.